Claim to be able to achieve, and so we're going to be testing this, but it's looking like we can make RAIDA the most fastest digital financial system in the world that can handle the entire global trade. And so we're scalable up, which means that we can add more hardware, more computers, more processors, but we also can scale out, and that means that we can just add more networks and more clouds. And so CloudCoin does not have a scalability problem. We are very efficient. And this, by the way, is important because a lot of people are really interested in this. When I started telling people about our tests, they were very interested in it. And we're going to do some more tests and try to get really nailed down about how fast RAIDA is. And actually, it's quite a simple system. And so it doesn't surprise me that it would be the fastest system in the world and probably the fastest system humanly possible. We are deploying something called Spike, which is a fast database, and we've got it on all of our RAIDA except for 4, and we've got 2 of those that are going to be converted in the next couple days, and so we've almost got it all converted to Spike. Spike means that it takes less time on the server, but it also means that it can handle much more requests. And the next thing that we want to handle is what's called network latency. Network latency, we want to have the ability to get from my home computer when I'm trying to, or my cell phone, I want to be able to reach 25 clouds all over the world, Russia, China, Taiwan, Australia, Argentina. We want to get to them all at once and back as fast as we can. Because of the speed of light, we can go very quick. But it seems like it might be possible to get below 400 milliseconds on average, and maybe even below 200 milliseconds. A millisecond is, it takes 1,000 milliseconds to make a second, and so for doing 200 milliseconds, that's 2/10 of a second. That is tremendous speed. I mean, that is just awesome. That'd be the fastest that there is. And so this is really exciting about how well our RAIDA technology is doing. Moving on to client software, we've got a lot of exciting things. We're getting ready to publish the next version of Founders Edition. Founders Edition is the console application. It's very ugly. But we've got something called Trusted Transfer that they're putting into it right now. And that's going to allow us to, instead of having to email it from person to person, you can actually send it right to their computer or their cell phone. And what happens is both clients connect to a server. They have a secret word that they pass amongst themselves, and then they pass the cloud coins to the server, which then authenticates it. And then if it's good, it passes it on to the next person. So everybody knows that those cloud coins were good, and it should happen within 3 seconds or so. So that's very good, and it's going into Founders. So is our MP3 standard. We've got that standard created. We've got it coded. Now we're going to put it into Founders. And now that means that you can import a CloudCoin stack that's actually an MP3 file, it's a music file, and you can also export them in MP3 files. This allows you to basically hide your CloudCoins. The next file format that we're going to look at is QR codes, and those are actually graphics that you can put on your cell phone and trade CloudCoins by taking pictures of them. So that's another exciting thing that's going to happen. The MP3s, however, that allows us to prove the authenticity of an MP3 file. And that's a digital asset that is very valuable. And so we can actually make it so that people know who the owner of that, or prove that they are the owner of that MP3 file. And we're also doing some other things to the software that allows us to deep test it so that we know that under all conditions that it's going to behave properly. And that's going to make the next generation of all of our client software very robust and very good. And I think everybody's going to be much more happy with what's going on next time. And you might be seeing some graphics because we got some new designs for our client software. And the new designs we're going to try to run the new design through our website, cloudcoin.global, because we're doing a new website now. And it's going to be on our client software for Mac and for Windows. So we're going to have this common theme through everything, and hopefully it'll be easy for you to use. We decided we're going to have 3 different versions of client software. We're going to have what's called the Founders Edition. That's the console ugly thing for computer scientists like me. And then we have the light version. This is minimal thinking. You don't have any options. You just import, you can see what you've got, and you can export, and that's all you can do with it. So it's very simple, easy to use. And then we've got the more advanced version, which is going to have the ability for you to lock coins so that if they're stolen from you, the thief can't even get to them. And also to insert email information into the CloudCoin so that if you lose them, you can actually recover them. And it's going to have a lot of advanced features that's going to make it so that CloudCoins cannot be lost, they cannot be stolen, and they are going to be, usable day and night all over the world in an instant. So that's really going well. We are undergoing our next marketing phase. Marketing is not a big priority right now. We're still trying to get to liquidity. In fact, maybe I should talk about liquidity first. So liquidity, one of the biggest things about liquidity is the BitShares exchange. And I've been in contact with Stan Larimer today and for the past few days, and we've been going over all that stuff and working on it. And our programmers, we've got programmers that are dedicated full time to getting that exchange. We think that we're going to have it done in a month. And so let's cross our fingers and hope that we can get it done in 1 month. We have something called Xyz Buys. There's basically 2 components of Xyz Buys. One is to allow them to sell CloudCoins. The other one is to allow them to accept CloudCoins. We just finished the first one, which is get them to sell CloudCoins. And they have a website now. It's called CloudCoins with an S.com. And CloudCoins.com is a site that right now you might be able to go there and buy CloudCoins. I just installed the SSL certificates, and it takes 24 hours to do that, so it's probably not up and going. And I'm not sure if I've got the correct banking information, so maybe it wouldn't work. But the point is that it is within days, if not hours, of working. And the next thing that we want to do is then allow them to where you go to checkout, you're going to have the option to pay in dollars or in CloudCoins. It's going to translate it from dollars to CloudCoins. And when you make your purchase, you're going to then get your stuff. You're going to upload your CloudCoins. We have the bank already set up, ready to authenticate it. So the only thing that we need to do is we need to test some of the final code on this page. And from what I've been told, and I haven't actually seen it, but all the code's done. All we have to do is test it. That means that this Xyz Buys website can go live very quickly, and it can start accepting your CloudCoins. What can you buy with it? I'm absolutely certain that you will find stuff on that website that you want to buy, because I looked on it, and I've had lots of people look at it, especially women. People ask me, what can I buy, CloudCoins with? Well, especially women ask that question because they're not much into investments. But they go to that, they see those products, and they're like, yes. And so that's going to be a big improvement for us, having that xyzbuys.com website, and that's going to be up and going very soon.
I have a question online if you want to take that.
Sure.
Sure. Question via email. You have said that there will soon be a change server and other software for vendors. Will a change server and other vendor software use RAIDA? If it does not, this could be a choke point for the government and other parties could use to interfere with or even shut down CloudCoin functionality.
Okay, so that was a long question. I'll try to repeat it. But the question is about the exchange services and whether the exchange service could be some kind of choke point in which a government could use to shut down CloudCoins. And so let's start to talk about something called, let me make sure that we're talking about the right thing. There's something called the exchange service, and there's something called the make change service.
Okay, yeah. Make change. You're addressing the right thing. Okay. I just want to make sure we're both on the right page. Okay. Go ahead.
So the make change service is something that's under development right now, and the exchange service is something that we just completed, and we've just put it into operation. And so I hate to tell you this website because I'm not absolutely, the test website is learn.cloudcoin.global. And at that website, you will see the first exchange system. Now, it looks like it's selling my book and stuff, but it's actually just a kind of a tweaked front of it. This exchange service allows everybody to create their own exchange service, maybe on their own PC or on the cloud if they want to. And then that service can contact our main exchange and tell it that certain things are for sale, coins are for sale, at what price, and then people will be able to find it, and you'll be able to trade peer-to-peer. And we right now we only trade one thing. So we trade US dollars to CloudCoins, and you have to be an American to have it work, unfortunately. So it's just for Americans, and it is dollars to CloudCoins, but that allows basically anybody to sell or buy with that software. The make change service is something that's being developed right now. We've had a developer work on it for the past week. He's a new developer. He was hired just for this purpose, and so he's got to go through and learn everything that he's got to know in order to make this stuff work. But he's already got the algorithm set up, and he's made some advancements. And basically what happens is if I want to send you some CloudCoins, let's say that you want 130 CloudCoins for the Frisbee that you're going to sell me. I'm just using that example. You say, I'm going to buy a Frisbee from you. And so I want to send you 130 CloudCoins because that's how much you're asking for the Frisbee. But all I have is a 250 note. So what I do is I send you through this trusted transfer, because it's going to be part of trusted transfer, I'm going to send it to this server, and the server is going to see that I'm trying to send you 130, and then I sent a 250. And then what happens is that it goes and checks the 250 to make sure it's real. If it's real, it sends you 130, and it sends me back the change. And so this is all going to happen, in theory, within 2 or 3 seconds, and so hopefully it'll be very quickly. And so I will, go on here, my cell phone. I will open up my CloudCoin Pocket Bank. I will go to export. I will type in 130. I will say, what's the magic word? Okay, it's house. So I'm going to put in house, and then I'm going to hit enter. And you're going to, the seller's going to put in the word house as well, and then that coin will then go to the trusted server, send you the money, and send me the change. And that'll happen in the blink of an eye. So that's how it's going now, and this is actually going to allow us to do retail. Now, I'm not sure if that answered the question. Okay, so trying, not to get away from the question is, does this exchange system and the make change thing, and keep in mind that this service does a lot more. It can actually issue fractions, which means that I can have cloud cents. And it can actually issue money that is referenced to CloudCoin. That means that I could have a completely different money that is based on CloudCoin, that is not actually CloudCoin, but can be exchanged within seconds. And the point of having these banks, or this cloud service, is to have another layer. And the layer actually adds fault tolerance. And so if everybody's got their own cloud server, then they're not even hitting the RAIDA. And it is in fact possible that the RAIDA could go down and the banks will still work so long as we get that RAIDA back up, because what's happening is the cloud coins are being stored, and maybe once every year they're being checked to make sure that they're authentic and re-authenticated. But then we have all of these cloud cents, let's call them, that are out there being distributed and being used. And they can authenticate, even at how fast the RAIDA is, they can authenticate even faster than the RAIDA. And you use them to exchange with cloud coins. And so this gives us actually another layer of defense, and it also gives us more scalability. And this idea actually comes from the DNS system, because with a DNS system, you have something called a top-level domain, which is like the .com or the .edu or the .org. And then you got lower-level domains like Google or Amazon or California State University, Berkeley, or whatever is the next thing under that. And so we have layers or a hierarchy within the DNS system of servers that work together. And by having these sub-banks, it gives us layers as well. And even though one bank might go out temporarily, if they've done their job, they will have made sure that that bank is fault tolerant, that it's mirrored to different servers all over the world, that will make it impossible for that thing to go down. So if they got good system administrators, it should be very good. But this whole layering approach creates this whole infrastructure that is in fact indestructible. It cannot be brought down by government. And one of the things that I'm not sure if I can talk about this, but well, I'll go ahead and talk about this. I think it's okay. But I've been talking to Stan Larimer and his group, and it's no secret that they're into distributed systems, and they're doing things in a distributed way in which you cannot tear them down. So you try to take out one of the servers, well, guess what? There's thousands of other servers out there. They're doing the same dang job, and they just reconfigure, and they're good to go. You can't bring it down. That's the great thing about the blockchain.
I have another question. Would you like it?
Just give me 1 second to finish this thought. And so they're actually working on a system that will basically create a fault-tolerant distributed DNS system. And that thing is going to be a badass, because one of our biggest problems, or our only problem, is the DNS system. We have to have many different DNS backups to make that work. But if they can do a distributed DNS system, talk about indestructible, and of course CloudCoin will be using that. Go ahead and give me the question if you want.
Post it here so viewers can see it. Question: all CloudCoin user software should be portable for security purposes and allow users to use multiple computers without leaving traces of CloudCoin. Will this be available on all versions?
Okay, so the idea of having the ability not to use any software, and there's basically different ways that we handle this now, and ways that are actually under development, which we expect to have in the next few weeks, or at least the next month at the longest. So one of those systems is called Store and Mind, and we did this in we worked out this feature in what's called the web bank, and it is a higher level feature. And it's not, what happens is everybody tries to store their coins in their mind, and they forget. And so we haven't really, we want to be able to embed the emails into the coins before we implement this. So if you do forget, you can still get the coins out. So this Store in Mind is a technology which we developed for the Venezuelans, because they go out and they get robbed and the people steal their phones. And so how are they going to be able to move coins? Well, they can actually take the coins and they can create 2 passphrases based on PIN numbers and birth dates and passwords and email addresses and all kinds of this stuff that they can remember. And then they can then take that to another person and give them that information. So that is the Store in Mind. It's in the web bank, and it's to be developed in the future. The good thing about it is you don't have to have anything on your computer. You have to go to a website, and this allows you to type in this stuff and upload and download it, and it uses JavaScript. The problem is that you don't want anybody to know you have CloudCoin, so you're going to delete your cache on your browser. And when you delete your browser, you're deleting all the serial numbers that you can't remember. So, I mean, the system actually just deleted all of the authenticity numbers. It didn't delete the serial numbers. And so once you do that, it's screwed up. Now, we do have ways to recover that. But so having it run out of the browser isn't ideal. But we are creating this thing. And what's it called? Well, it's so new, I don't even know what to call it. I'm not sure what we're calling it. But what it does is it allows you to go to a website, log in and upload your CloudCoins to it. And so you have to trust this website with your CloudCoins in order to make this thing work. But it protects you with the username and login. If the website got robbed, you'd lose all your CloudCoins, so would the website. And so it is a concern, but if you could remember your username and password or keep it somewhere safe, then nobody would know that you had your CloudCoins up there. And so that's one thing. We also have the ability to put the software and the CloudCoins on a USB drive. So you can disconnect that, and you can literally bury it in your backyard, or you can hide it somewhere. And so that also is a way that you can keep your CloudCoins safe. You can upload your stack files to servers on the internet. So there's these web servers all over the place, and they might be in Switzerland, they might be in the Philippines, they might be in vaults, but you can pay them to hold data for you. And you can, the one that comes to mind is SecureSafe. That's a very good one. It'll store your passwords. And that's securesafe.com. That's in Switzerland. It'll store your passwords and your CloudCoins. And so they're up there, and all you have to do to get to them is your username and password. And assuming that no government goes into the Swiss servers and takes over them, that'll be safe, and nobody will know that you're using it if you're using a browser that does not track the cookies. And I would, for privacy's sake, I would suggest that you use a browser like HideMe, and I think that HideMe automatically attaches to a proxy server, so that when you're going around, nobody sees your IP address, they see the proxy server. It's not going to track any of your cookies. There's something called Ghostify, which is a good tool. But we're still working on that technology, and I think pretty soon. And by the way, we do have some web pages in which you just take the CloudCoin, you drag them in there, it pwns them, and then it drops them off onto your hard drive. And we actually do have that already, and it works very good. The problem, it doesn't work on iPhone. So iPhone has this cloud storage, and it just doesn't work on that. But when we get the new cloudcoin.global website up and going, we're going to have links to all the stuff that you've probably never even seen, but it's out there. And so it's going to make life easier. But that website, I'm trying to remember the URL, and I'm going to say it's cloudcoin.digital/pwn, and I think that's POWN. I think that's our pwning site, and cloudcoin.digital/detect is a website that if you just want to drag your coins into it and see if they're real or not, it'll tell you if they're real or not. So that's another handy site. It's all going to be on our new website once we get that going.
Do you want another question? Or you want
Sure.
to with your cards? Next question is, any plans for a Blender type service to exchange one note for another?
Is there any exchange for a Blender type service to exchange one note for another? That would be really, really easy to do. And so what I think that we could work that into our change server, and you just send up a 250 and it would automatically send back a different one. I didn't have that plan, I didn't have that idea, but man, that would be easy to do. And so now that I've got the idea, maybe I can add that as a feature to some of our existing stuff. It wouldn't take much work at all to do that. Okay, let me see here. I just wanted to say a few things that we're developing this, what we call a peer-to-peer network, and this is just allowing businesses and customers to trade in CloudCoins right here in Chico. And so we're starting this network, and we actually have big plans to do the same thing in Los Angeles. But since we've got somebody here in Chico that wants to do it right now, we're going to go ahead and do it now as we work on making the software more easy to use for retailers. But within a few months, we're probably going to be in LA. But right now, we've gone ahead and begun going on a peer-to-peer, trying to get local businesses and local consumers to use CloudCoin. And we've got a good idea how to make that work, and we think we're going to be successful. But that's something we're doing now. And I also want to let you know that there's lots of companies around that are involved with CloudCoin that are part of the consortium. We're starting a new one called RAIDA. and there's a website called raidac.com that you can go to. And we have just submitted our business plan to this business plan guru. He's like a business guru. And, you know, I'm a computer information systems guy, and I don't really know much about business. It turns out that there's a lot of strategies that you should have, and with new kind of products and new technologies, there's certain things that you want to do and certain things you don't want to do. And so we've got this guy that's going to help us develop this plan. And then after that plan is done, we've already got the corporation, we've already got the stocks, then we're going to start selling the stocks. And we think that we're going to make a lot of money. I mean, I shouldn't say we're going to make a lot of money. We're going to raise a lot of investment money from those stocks, from RAIDAC. And we're going to be able to use that to really explode what we're doing. I mean, right now we've got 56 people working on CloudCoin, and we've got something like 10 software developers. We just hired, of course, about 4, and all with CloudCoin. And so we're not even paying them with dollars. But if we had a bunch of dollars, then we could really accelerate. We'd probably still pay them with CloudCoins, but we could really accelerate what we're doing. And so RAIDAC is coming along. We've had a lot of contact from companies that want to do joint ventures. And these joint ventures are not small little deals. They're pretty amazing. Some of them are just mind-blowing. And so if any of this thing comes to fruition, you know, CloudCoin has a bright future, and I'm very optimistic about what's going on with CloudCoin. They say that if your business doesn't work in 3 years, that you should quit and do something else. It's been about 2 years since I had the idea. It's been about 1 year since we've been actually implementing those ideas, and we just see things accelerating. We just see things growing and growing. And so I think that we're in for a good future. And we also see that our support calls have increased. So that's a good sign. When people are calling for support, it means that there's more people out there using it and more people that need help, and we see that support really increasing. And so I'm very positive about the future. And is there any more questions?
No more questions. Okay. You might want to congratulate the winner of the 500 CloudCoins, and that's all I got.
All right. I want to congratulate the winner of the 500 CloudCoins who did our photo caption contest. And who is that person?
It's a user known as Jewelry.
Okay, so a username as Jewelry won that. Thank you very much for that input and following our newsletter. And with that, I think we'll call it a week. And hopefully, is there anything else? Okay, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.